Hey, 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 got dog hair. You know how it goes. You know how it goes in my world. How we doing, guys? Okay, yeah, I'm all gussied up today because I had to get out early and take the car in. And now I'm here with you guys. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's well. It's a kind of chilly, kind of like windy, but beautiful day. I'll take the crisp. You can wear a jacket, and get your hat on, and feel cozy. Anyways, okay, so let's jump into something. And it's going to be I won't say it's broken record stuff because we haven't talked about it a million times, but it's definitely something that I've talked about before. I keep seeing a lot of comments coming up talking about, and some people are addressing them at us, TGD, maybe not saying the name, or maybe they are. And this isn't like a big defensive thing, but what I want to do is I want to clarify some stuff, right? So I see people talking about, yeah, I just put up a post like shut down dogs and things like that. And I keep seeing things come up where people are watching videos and like I recently shared a whole list of videos where people can watch like 25, 30 different videos. And I'll see comments like, all the dogs are suppressed, all the dogs are shut down, they're all sad, they're all, and I'm like, are you watching all these videos or did you just pick one video? Um, because if you watched all these videos, or if you watched even just a fair portion of them, I'm not saying everybody has to dedicate all their life to watching all these videos, you'd see a hell of a lot of dogs that are running around having a good time that aren't suppressed and sad and, you know, beat up looking and things like that. Like I said in the post about the blog I did recently called Taking Pictures in Therapy, which is basically we're documenting dogs going through transformations and really challenging times. And a lot of trainers, I'd be super, super, super curious to see the kinds of dogs they're working with consistently and then be able to A/B it. Because all we do is work with behavior mod. Like 99.99999% is behavior mod and extreme behavior mod. Not like, oh, they jump. Oh, they're like growling at people. We're talking about dogs that are severely biting people, dogs that are severely injuring other dogs, dogs that have got severe resource guarding, dogs with severe fear, severe separation anxiety stuff. And so we're documenting a lot of that stuff and showing a lot of that stuff of dogs that are in pretty serious states, right? We're not talking about like, let's do some obedience with a dog that needs to like tidy some things up, or a dog who's got some bad manners, or a dog who's got behavior mod, but it's really like freaking light stuff. I have to say, I'm a little annoyed at what feels like a bit of a kind of presumptuous kind of state or a presumptuous kind of attitude based on a lack of a lot of information. So I'm seeing people and a handful of people recurring that keep putting up comments about stuff and they've got no context about what we're actually doing, what the dogs look like when they came in. I mean, we try and document as much as we can, but they don't really get to see the whole process. And then saying things like, the dogs look suppressed, or the dogs look unhappy, or the dogs look like this. So for one, when you're dealing with extreme case dogs, one after another, you're gonna see a heck of a lot more ratio-wise of dogs that are struggling to make a transformation. It's just, you're not gonna get around that. Unless you've got some magic wand that can make a dog in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, like, ta-da, I forget everything I've done for the last 6 years. I've not seen that be the case. What I have seen is a slow arc of progress, and every dog's arc is a little bit different. So I get a little bit annoyed when I see folks who aren't here on the property, aren't working with these specific dogs, but yet they're kind of on this high horse of like judging how the training is looking and judging how the dogs are looking. And I would so love for people to be here in our shoes working with these dogs and then seeing what's actually going on. And here's the critical part, seeing what happens post-training. This is the part everybody's missing. This is the part, like all these people that are like putting up comments. I'm sorry guys, but you're kind of like, I'm gonna really like censor myself. You're kind of really effing missing the point. You're really missing the big freaking picture. You're looking very small picture. You're looking very small context and very limited context, because that's all you have with this situation. You're not looking at dogs that are in a transformational, challenging, like compared to therapy or physical therapy, kind of like moment in time, 2, 3, 4 weeks. You're looking at that in a vacuum. You're not thinking, what do these dogs look like a month from now? What do these dogs look like 2, 3 months from now? And why do we keep getting emails from owners saying, our dogs are doing great, our dogs have got more freedom, our dogs are happier than ever, our dogs are like, we're so excited? It's because we freaking know how the process works. When you work with tough effing dogs all the time, there's going to be a lot of dogs in that process that are going to look messy in the process, and then they're going to get better and better and better. That's how it works. They don't just magic wand it out in 3 weeks and then like frolic through the tulips. Half these dogs have got, you know, nerve issues, breeding issues, you know, stuff like that. They may never look amazing. They may always be compromised. They may always be challenged to some degree. But what I would really love to get everybody to stretch their mind into thinking is less about magic transpiring in 2 to 3 weeks and thinking about, okay, let me expand my horizons and let me imagine, because if you're really working with dogs and you're working with tough cases, it shouldn't be hard for you to imagine, because you should have seen this a lot. Dogs struggling, challenging, improving, but getting only so far as like transformation in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, or even 2 weeks. Then they go home and the real work happens. Any of you guys who know what the hell you're doing training wise, you know I'm preaching the gospel. This is simple stuff. Anybody who's doing real work with real dogs, you know that the real magic, we're laying the foundation. All we're doing is laying the foundation and giving the tools and the patterning, and then boom, it goes off to the owners, and they've got to do that hard ass work for the next 2, 3, 6, 8, a year, right? Not 8 years, 8 months, a year, something like that. And that's when you see the dogs really kind of like unfold and find themselves just like human beings that are going through physical therapy or going through actual emotional therapy. It takes time to go from bad stuff, struggling through the transformation, acceptance, or not the finish line, but closer to the finish line, in a better space, really comfortable with the new kind of mentality, the new mindset. Guys, if you think that dogs are done in 3 weeks and should look perfect, then either you don't have enough experience or you're dealing with really mild dogs. And anybody who's saying different, I'm kind of saying you're full of it. I'm sorry. There's plenty of dogs that come through here with stuff and in 3 weeks go home looking like $1 million. Plenty of them. And watch the videos, look for both sides, don't just look for the bad, and you'll see it. But there's also plenty of dogs that come through here that are really a mess. And if you've marketed yourself like we have to be the kind of last line of defense, to be the place where after 1, 2, 3, 4 trainers and things have been bad and exceptionally bad and you're contemplating putting your dog down or rehoming them, you contact us, you know that that's going to be kind of the cream of the crop of the most challenging dogs. So if you haven't marketed yourself to be that business, then you're not attracting those dogs. And you don't really have any context or really any ability to be able to discern, criticize, critique, and say like, these dogs should look a different way. BS, you have no idea, because you're not on the ground, you're not on the ground floor with this real stuff, right? And I'm not talking to the folks doing the real stuff. Like, you know who you are. I talk to plenty of you guys, plenty of you ladies. I've got mad respect for all of you guys doing real work. You know how I feel. We PM, we text, like, this is not about being holier than thou. This is not about us being the only ones in town doing. That's not what I mean. What I do mean is there's a clear distinction between those folks sitting back and kind of pontificating about how dogs should look and what the arc of progress should look like when they have no effing idea what that dog really is like, what the home situation is like, what the dog's been through, what the dog's cognitive abilities are, early experience. They've got no idea, and yet all these dogs should fit into a nice little mold of 3 weeks and boom, shot out of a cannon, happy as can be. No, that's not how it works. Not if you have the experience. And anybody watching this that I know that will speak the truth, that works with really challenging dogs consistently, the real stuff, is going to say, yeah, we get some, they come out and they look amazing after 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever it is, 5 weeks. And if they were telling the truth, they'd also tell you, and there's some that go home and they're not looking so amazing because they still have a lot of work to do. And that work is going to transpire at home, and they're going to incrementally get better and better. Some dogs are going to top out. Some dogs are going to be really limited because of who they are. So I caught myself like wanting to respond to certain comments, and then I was like, man, I just don't want to get into this debate back and forth. I don't have time for it, and I feel like it's a worthless debate with a lot of people that don't have the experience but are yet putting themselves on that pedestal of like, I am going to hereby decree that this is how it should be done, this is how it should not be done, this is like, these videos are ruining people's perceptions of dogs or ruining people's like training, you know, blah blah blah. Like, if dogs are unsure, if dogs aren't happy and waggy and bouncy, if dogs are worried after 2 to 3 weeks, I'm still okay with that, if that's who the dog is. If we've done good work and the dog is still like unsure about something, like Tegan, who's going to go home today, she's still nervous. She spent, 3 weeks with us, great work, she's looking amazing, we've gotten her a million miles. She's still going to be tail tucked at times. She's still going to be unsure. Does that mean we did crappy work? Does that mean we don't know what the hell we're doing? Does that mean we broke her spirit and suppressed and repressed and oppressed and pressed? No, it means that's who the effing dog is. That means that's who she is, and we're making the best we can. And can you tell I'm frustrated? And any of you peeps out there shouting from the mountaintops that aren't in the trenches, and so many of you folks are like, but I am in the trenches. Yeah, you show me your videos of being in the trenches. You show me consistently. There's a reason why I put up 25 or 30 videos when someone was like, does this guy train dogs? Like, yeah, I train dogs. Here's 30 videos. Do all the dogs look pretty? No. Do some of them look amazing? Absolutely. Does that mean that crappy work was done and not crappy work was done? No. It means different dogs were coming through that have different limitations. And so you're going to see different results. That doesn't make it crappy training. That doesn't make it negligent training or less than amazing training. It makes it good training, because that's what we do with dogs that all have different challenges, different limits, different ceilings. And if you don't know that, if you're making those kind of comments, it's funny. It's funny, the people that don't make those comments, I'm going to be really blunt with you guys here. The ones that don't make those comments, this is a good insight, this just came to me, are all the folks that have the experience, the true experience. For one, have good character, so I know they're telling the truth and integrity, but they have tons of experience working with really problematic dogs. They're not the ones going, that dog should be looking a lot happier. No, they're the ones that are like, I get it. Not all dogs are going to look happy after 3 weeks. Some dogs are going to look messy. So it's strange, the ones that show up and pontificate and the ones that understand and sit by and support and watch and cheer, because we're in the same trenches together, the real trenches, not the BS trenches, not the trenches of like, I aspire to be like, you know, this dog trainer that everybody, you know, like looks at and respects and blah, blah, blah. No, trainers actually in the trenches doing the hard work with the hardest dogs. The dogs that come in and you cross your fingers, I hope we can find a way. The dogs that come in and you go, I hope we can make them better. They're that messy, they're that bad, they've been through that much training, they're that close to being euthanized. Like, I really believe in the work we do, and I'm scared every single dog that comes in. Every single dog that comes in, I go, I sure hope we can find a way. I hope we can get this dog as far as we can get it. I hope we can find our way, our answers to give the owner the best fighting shot at keeping the dog in the house, keeping the dog alive, all that good stuff. Every dog that comes in, there's no cruise control. Do I believe in what we do? 1000%. Do I think we've got like some of the best stuff going training-wise? 1000%. Do I care that there's these comments coming from people that really don't seem to be in the same trenches? I guess I do. I guess it pisses me off. I guess it bothers me, or I wouldn't be making this video, right? It bothers me because what it's implying is that these dogs don't look good because of crappy training, and that's ruining people's perception of training. Like, it's okay for a dog to look unsure. It's okay for a dog to look slow. It's okay for a dog to look nervous, even after, yes, 3 weeks. And there's all this talk about, well, after a program, the dog should look like this. Are you kidding me? Are you working with real dogs? Are you working with dogs that have real shit going on? Like, you must not be. Because if you're working with real dogs with real serious issues, you wouldn't be sitting in some position saying that after 3 weeks, they should have made this arc and be in a really great spot if you're doing great training. Really. You come over here and work with some of these dogs, and then let's see where you are in 3 weeks. Let's see the happy dogs, and let's see the progress and the results, and let's see it transferring to the owners. Let's see the owners sending you emails saying, thank you, it's awesome. So I know it works because we've worked with so many damn dogs. So I'm just putting this out here as a little bit of a public service announcement. Be careful. Be careful about pontificating. Be careful about casting aspersions. Be careful about criticizing and critiquing. Not that you can't, you can do whatever you want, but be careful about it because it paints you as someone. And in my eyes, it paints you as someone without true experience, true context, and who's not really in the trenches. That's who it paints you as to me. And it's not to be nasty, it's to be honest, it's to be real. It's to lay down like the truth. The truth is, I get folks showing up on my page that have got way more experience than me. And they're like, yep, I've seen that. Yep. Challenging, huh? Yep. Right? Strange when the people that have the actual history and the actual experience are the ones that aren't casting aspersions. The only ones that you'll find that will, they might have an agenda or might have some character issues, some integrity issues. I'm not trying to call anybody out, just saying, like, dog training world, just like any other world, we're chock full of the whole deal. We got amazing people, we got not so amazing people. We got people with tons of character, people, So, anyways, this is a long video. I'm gonna cut it now. I know I sound like I'm worked up. I'm a little worked up. I'm a little pissed off. A little pissed off at people without the information saying how it should be done. Like somebody standing outside of the operating room who's never done anything except for been like a, I don't know, ear, nose, and throat doctor or pediatrician or something, and somebody's doing like, you know, quadruple bypass, and they're like, you see the way they're handling those tools? Man, that's obviously like not the best way to handle those tools. And that's like, do you see the way that they just move that, you know, oxygen mask around? Or like, I know I'm making like a ridiculous comparison, but that's kind of what it's like. It's like people without true in the trenches experience, sitting at a safe distance and then saying, that doesn't look good. That's bad training. Da, da, da. You come do it. You show me. You show me your 30, 40 dogs, 50 dogs that come in that are in that bad of a space. And then you show them, oh, looking happy. And you make sure that your owners are all doing real well. Because the dogs looking happy at the end of 3 weeks is not nearly as important to me as the dogs going home and succeeding for the rest of their life. I don't care if the dog isn't bouncing and happy and making you feel freaking joyful that he's a happy dog who's recovered himself. I don't give a crap about that. What I give a crap about is that that dog has now found a way to be safe, stay in the home, and over time will turn into an amazing pet where the owner and the dog are in a good spot. That's what I care about. So that's the lowdown scoop. Little something to say. I'm sure this will ruffle some feathers, ruffle away. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but just make sure when you're casting your opinion, make sure that you've got the experience and the context and the full understanding so you don't make yourself look foolish. All right? Jump the good dog. Love y'all. Talk to you soon.